Right now, you just did something you didn't even notice. Someone raised their eyebrows at you today. You understood it instantly. No dictionary, no lesson, no words at all. That skill is not new. It is not even human. It is older than language itself, older than fire, older than the wheel. And for 2 million years, it was the only way your ancestors could speak. Before words, there was silence. But silence was never empty. It was full of movement, sound, and meaning. Your ancestors built entire relationships, entire survival strategies, entire cultures, without ever saying a single sentence. How is that even possible? Stay with this, because the answer changes how you see every gesture you make today. Picture a small group of early humans, maybe 40 of them, walking across a grassland 2 million years ago. No language yet, not even close. But watch them closely. One freezes, his whole body goes still, his eyes lock on a shape in the tall grass. Within seconds, the entire group has frozen too. No one said a word, no one needed to. This is the first language, not sound, not speech, the body. Researchers call this the gestural origin theory. Anthropologist Michael Corballis spent decades studying it. His argument is simple but powerful. Long before humans could shape complex sounds, they could point, they could mimic, they could hold up a hand and stop an entire group in its tracks. Gesture came first. Sound came later, layered on top like a second language built on the bones of the first. Think about that for a second. Right now, you point at things constantly without thinking. You wave when someone leaves. You flinch when something scares you. These are not modern habits. These are fossils. Behavioral fossils, passed down through millions of years, still living inside your hands and your face. But gesture alone could not carry everything. Early humans needed more. They needed warning. They needed comfort. They needed to say without saying, I see you, I am here, you are safe. So they turned to sound. Not words, just sound. A sharp bark meant danger. A low hum meant calm. A rising pitch meant excitement, discovery, maybe food. This is called proto-language, and it did not need grammar to work. It needed emotion. Your ancestors were not debating philosophy around the fire. They were surviving, together, using sound as a tool almost like a weapon and a lifeline at once. Here is where it gets strange. Have you ever noticed that a baby who has never been taught a single word still cries in patterns? A hungry cry sounds different from a tired cry. A scared cry sounds different from a lonely one. Nobody teaches an infant to do this. It is already there, built in, waiting. That is not a coincidence. That is the ghost of proto-language, still running in every human born today. Now picture the world these early humans lived in. No streetlights, no walls, just open land, predators in the grass, and each other. In that world, communication was not a luxury. It was survival equipment. A group that could not signal danger fast enough did not survive long enough to pass on its genes. A group that could freeze together, point together, warn together, live to see another sunrise. This is why researchers like Robin Dunbar believe communication and social bonding evolved side by side. Dunbar studied primate grooming, the way monkeys and apes pick through each other's fur for hours at a time. It looks simple. It is not. Grooming builds trust. It builds alliances. It says, without any words at all, I trust you, and you can trust me. But grooming has a problem. You can only groom one individual at a time. As early human groups grew larger, physical touch could not keep everyone connected. Dunbar's theory is elegant. Vocal sound, humming, calling, rhythmic noise became a way to groom an entire group at once. A shared sound could bond 10 people, the way physical touch once bonded 2. Say that out loud in your head for a moment. Your ancestors may have started making rhythmic sounds together not to communicate information, but to feel connected. Sound is glue. Sound is belonging. Long before sound ever meant anything specific, it meant we are together. Does that feel familiar? It should. You already do this. You hum without noticing. You tap your foot to a beat in a waiting room. You feel something shift in your chest when a crowd sings the same song at the same time. That feeling is not modern. That feeling is ancient. That feeling is proto-language, still alive, still working exactly the way it worked 2 million years ago. Now add faces into the picture. Long before your ancestors could say I am angry or I am afraid, their faces were already saying it for them. Paul Ekman's research on facial expression found something remarkable. Certain expressions, fear, anger, disgust, joy, surprise, appear across every human culture on Earth, even in groups that had zero contact with the outside world. A tribe that never saw modern civilization still smiled the same way you do, still narrowed their eyes in suspicion the same way you do. This is not culture, this is code, ancient, hardwired, nonverbal code, written into the human face before the first word was ever spoken. So here is the picture forming. Early humans lived in a rich, layered world of communication, built entirely without words. Gesture to direct attention, sound to signal danger and comfort, rhythm to bond the group, facial expression to broadcast emotion instantly, across any distance, without translation. This system was not primitive. It was brilliant. It had to be. It kept your ancestors alive across ice ages, migrations, and predators far larger than anything you'll ever face. Then, sometime between 100,000 and 50,000 years ago, something shifted. The vocal tract changed shape. The brain's Broca's area, the region tied to language production, expanded. And slowly, sound began attaching itself to meaning in a new way. Not just danger or calm, but specific structured meaning. This tree, that river, my child, your child. Words were born. But here is the twist almost nobody talks about. Words did not replace the old system. They were built on top of it. Every time you speak today, you are not using language instead of gesture and expression. You are using language alongside them, exactly the way your ancestors layered sound on top of gesture 2 million years ago. Think about the last conversation you had. You didn't just use words. You used your hands, your eyebrows, your tone. Researchers estimate that a huge percentage of human communication is still nonverbal, still riding on the same ancient system your ancestors built long before words existed. You think you speak with language. You actually speak with your entire body, and language is just the newest layer on top. This is why a sarcastic sentence can mean the opposite of its words, just from your tone. This is why silence in a room can feel louder than shouting. This is why you can walk into a space and instantly feel tension before anyone says a single sentence. You are reading the old system, the one that kept your ancestors alive long before grammar existed. So the next time you catch someone's eye across a room and just know something, without a word passing between you, that is not magic. That is not coincidence. That is 2 million years of evolution, quietly doing its job. You didn't invent that skill. You inherited it. Because before humans had words, they had each other, and somehow, without a single sentence spoken, that was enough to survive, to bond, to build the very foundation your language now stands on. You are not just someone who speaks. You are the descendant of a species that learned to say everything, long before it learned to say anything at all.